move into a shamanic breathwork with Levi Banner, and he lives in Bali. And I actually traveled to Bali and did this breathwork with him. And this was literally like one of the breathworks that shifted a lot for me in life. And I remember like feeling so much energy pulsing through my body. And when he said, "Come back into your body," I was like, no, I'm staying here. Like, this is so amazing. And and it took a very long time to come back. I think I even remember you actually. There's like 50 or 60 or maybe 100 people in the class, and he's just like poking on me, like, "We're coming back," and I'm like, okay. So I'm really excited for Levi to facilitate that for us today. So in the past, Levi's been a part of our festivals, but he's done astrology, and he may throw a little bit of that in here today. But he's going to do shamanic breathwork for us, which he's never done for us before, and I'm really looking forward to this. And I know we're doing a lot of somatic work this morning, and this is just like really helping us ground all of the information we've been soaking in all week into our bodies. Because just having the information stick into our mind, it's not enough. We have to move it into our body. And so that's partly what this is for. So with that, Levi, thank you for being
Hi.
here. Welcome to Emergence Festival.
Oh, thank you. What an honor. Great. Yeah, and what a beautiful morning we've had. What an epic session. That brother Alex has it. He's really got it. That was a perfect segue. If you caught that yoga class where he was honoring both the light and the dark, which is a really dear to my heart message in being a shamanic breathwork facilitator. It's something that we really promote as the full spectrum of humanness. And what better way to access that than through the breath and the body? So, yeah, great. I love the topic this festival. It's also really, it's something that we all have to work on. It seems that relationships are the new yoga, or they're the new, it's like something that everyone does. Everyone longs for some kind of relationship, whether it be there, there's so many possibilities. There's monogamy, there's polyamory and polygamy and monogamy and monotony and all that. But we're all longing to find our way, and this can really build up a lot. And so I thought it was brilliant to bring in a breathwork this time, to release some of the stuckness, or uh, the stuff, the shit that gets built up when we're exploring our shadows, and when we're exploring the spectrum of relationship. When we're looking at our heart, there's just so much there. And it's really been, for me, relationships been my greatest place to find my shadows. The work is great, yoga's great, and the breath work is really powerful. But facing myself through my partner has been where I really get to see who I am, and the parts of myself that I didn't know yet. So, so breath work is what I want to share today, and specifically shamanic breath work. So I actually have some slides to share, so that you have some pictures to look at while I'm talking instead of my pretty face. Shall I proceed? Okay, great. Let's do that screen share thing. Awesome. So you can see my pretty face here. Give me a thumbs up. Okay, good, good.
Looks like great Photoshop on a handsome dude.
Perfect. So, cool. Here we go. Let's just get right into it. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So this is me. I'm wonderful. I'm actually quite versed in breathwork. I'm considered a master level shamanic breathwork facilitator. I trained through a school called Venus Rising Association for Transformation. My teacher's named Starwolf. She's nearly 70 years old, and has been doing breathwork for over 30 years, and created shamanic breathwork. It's not something I made up. She created it, 25, 30 years ago. And anyways, I found it quite a few years ago, maybe 8 years ago, and I'm one of her lead trainers. I do breathwork trainings and have a whole lot of breath workers out there that I've trained and I'm very proud of. So yeah, and like Chelsea said, I used to lead, before things changed, I was leading large breathwork containers here in Bali, at a large yoga studio with like 60, 80, 100 people, whatever, and lots of festivals around the world. So maybe you've seen me at one of those. So it's been a great gift and a great joy to share this gift to the world. And before that, and continuously, I'm very versed in pranayama, or the yogic version of breath work as well. Kind of rare to really go as deep as I have, I think. I've been a yoga teacher for a very long time, and I started yoga maybe 20 years ago. I've been doing yoga teacher trainings for many years, and I include breathwork in my teacher trainings. But I studied with O.P. Tiwari in India for several years. I used to go every year and just go sit at the feet of my guru and go really deep. It's quite boring and quite deep, really incredible, profound wisdom from the meditation of the yogic breathwork. And and I'm an astrologer and so on and so forth. So it's such a great time to be hosting this event on relationships when the planet Venus, which to me as a shamanic astrologer represents the sacred feminine and the feminine within all of us, and she goes through this beautiful cycle, very elegant cycle of a year and a half. It's a 584-day cycle. But regardless, she goes through this time period where she's quite bright in the morning, and then she goes so close to the sun you can't see her for a couple months. And today is the first picture I've seen. I didn't get to see her here. It's quite cloudy. But if you have low horizon and no clouds and good visibility of the sky, you can start seeing Venus rising from the sun, rising from the underworld. Today, over the next week, you'll be able to just see her there, along with Mercury, right as the sun sets, right above where the sun sets. So it's like the feminine is rising kind of experience in her cycle. And she's on her way to meet Mars, which to me represents the masculine, in July. So there's this cosmic love story happening that we get to watch from this day on, where Venus approaches Mars and Mars approaches Venus. So very happy that we're having this ceremonial event during that. So shamanic breathwork, as I said, is a modality that comes straight out of holotropic breathwork and rebirthing. Starwolf, my teacher, created it. She was a student of the Groffs and of Leonard Orr. It's a friend of hers. It was a friend of hers before he passed. And anyways, she sprouted shamanic breathwork because of the wisdom she was obtaining from her teacher from the Seneca Wolf clan, Grandmother Twyla. And so she's getting all this kind of Native American wisdom and was sitting with the Mayan elders, and she was going around the world and just getting all this. She's just, becoming a shaman in her own right, modern white shaman or whatever. But she kind of infused the wisdom of the ancient traditions into the breathwork. She just kind of found that it fit hand in hand. People have been doing. Shamans have been using the breath for time on end, and we're using it to go into altered states. So shamanic breathwork is a version of breathwork that is quite special in the way that that indigenous wisdom, shamanic wisdom, is infused into every breath. So breathwork itself is, if you don't know, it's nowadays it's really a wide range of things. I suggested that. We're even calling pranayama, or the yogic breathing techniques, a version of breathwork, which I argued against for a while, but I've given up that. And the Wim Hof stuff, it's a version of pranayama, and call it a breathwork. But breathwork itself is a term that comes from Stanislav Grof, Christina Grof, when they created holotropic breathwork. They were psychotherapists doing tests and therapy using psychedelic drugs. So they were paving the way, and what we're kind of examining now, getting to legalize these substances, whatever, these medicines, to heal. And anyway, so they were using that a long time ago, late 60s, early 70s, and they found that the breathing techniques would bring people into these altered states of consciousness without the use of these psychedelic substances, plants and mushrooms and these kinds of things, LSD. And so, I'm not guaranteeing anything, but a lot of people liken the breath work as they have a psychedelic experience, or an very in the body experience, a very emotional experience, and we're focusing on that today. But I'm just telling you where it's coming from, this ability to access something that's freely available to all of us all the time, and not have to use illegal things, and or go into places that we can't get out of very easily. The breath is very accessible to everyone. Whole host of breathwork benefits. They're doing tests. Actually, the yogic school that I come from, that I was studying in India for a long time, was the first ever in 1927, first yoga center to ashram to start doing like official scientific studies on pranayama and the effects on the brain and on the body. They were doing really obscure tests and really proved a lot of cool things, like the yogi stopping his heart rate thing, and then starting it again, and holding their breath, just not needing breath for obscene amounts of time. Won't get into that, but there's a lot of benefits of breath work, and we're just doing tests. Actually, I think Stanislav Grof is currently or just recently did a lot of he was commissioned to do a lot of tests on holotropic breathwork. But today, focusing on the emotional aspects of releasing. Really, I mean, wow, it's like going beneath the surface. We breathe we're always breathing, and how often are we conscious of it? Maybe in our yoga class, maybe we've learned meditation. So this is even kind of a blast underneath. It's kind of like an opportunity to go into what you wouldn't see otherwise. And what's often there is all the usual suspects, fear and guilt and shame, all the traumas, all the wounds, and all the stuff that we all have. We all have wounds, really beautiful, valuable wounds to look at that show us our power. Even the primordial, just that first release from the source, or the release from the parent, from the mom. It's like that can be a wound. Our birth experience, and then we get into a family and into a culture, and there's just everything. Every little thing can kind of create a trauma that lasts a long time. So those things tend to show up in relationships. From my experience, I don't know what yours is, but from my personal experience, my traumas and my kind of unusual, the stuff that I didn't know was there, that I thought I already did the work on, been a yogi forever, I did all this meditation, I did all the work. Well, I think I'm faced with another level of healing through the experience I have with my partner, and that mirror, as you've probably heard many people say in this weekend, that the closer you are to someone, the more of a mirror they are. And so you're really going to see where you're at when you face your partners in whatever fashion you're inducting their relationship. But breath work is going to be able to release, kind of go into those spaces that are built up, and maybe you've found them lately, or maybe they come up now. But better now than then. But there's always more than. I'm just saying that if you found a problem, if you've hit a wall, if you've found something really juicy that's like really seemingly ugly or uncomfortable, that's the gold there to dive into today. Breathe into it, see where it takes you. Yeah. And if something comes up today, which is very often, very usual, is that you're going to see things that you didn't know were there. That you just start breathing and then, oops, surprise, hi, oh, this is interesting. And that can be this incredibly ecstatic, blissful, orgasmic, no guarantees, but orgasmic state, all kinds of, all the way to like kind of cramping in your body. And the full range of emotions, the full range of, we can get stuck in our head during the breath. We can get into incredible kind of psychedelic, like really altered states of consciousness. We can get into really incredible, really go on a journey, meet our spirit guides, meet our spirit animals, ancestors, future self, like. It absolutely, to me, is very relevant that those things occur. So the full range of physical, mental, and emotional does occur. The idea is just to go into whatever comes up. So whatever comes up to come out. Whatever comes up, comes up. If it's up for healing. It's up to see. So how we're going to do this is quite simple. It's a conscious connected breath, which basically just means that you're aware of your breathing and that you're connecting your breaths up, that there is no pause, there is no stopping. So the beautiful thing with pranayama, the yogic meditative breathing, is that it induces a state of meditation. And the way that we do that is through actually holding the breath. Pranayama actually means to kind of regulate your breathing, means to extend your breath. And the purpose, or kind of the goal when you're learning pranayama in an advanced, in a deeper way, is that you're holding your breath. It's actually, you want to be able to hold your breath for long periods of time and invoke more CO2 into the body, into the brain, so that you are meditative, kind of floaty. So, if you've tried Wim Hof or these other, the box breath or all these cool new popular things that are ancient, then you notice that they're asking you to hold your breath. Inhale, hold, exhale, hold, inhale, it's kind of the opposite approach. And again, you can get into a similar floaty meditative state and actually kind of blast you into it. Often people find themselves in a incredible, a deeper meditation than they've ever been in, even though they've been practicing meditation for 30 years or whatever through breathwork. So the breathwork is opposite. So instead of pause, that natural, even in a normal breath, there's a natural pause. As you inhale, there's this beautiful moment before you exhale. And there's this beautiful moment before you inhale. Again, every breath you take is like that. It's this natural pause. And in pranayama, you extend that. In breathwork, shamanic breathwork, we're taking the pause out. So as soon as your exhale is over, your inhale begins. As soon as the inhale is up, exhale begins. So there's no stop. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Quite simple, right? But it is different. And it doesn't mean fast and hard, but it can be, especially if you're not going anywhere. But you will go somewhere if you simply connect your breaths for a few times. So let's try it really quick. I want you to just try it just a couple times. We're not going to go into the journey. The journey is going to be more spacious. I'm going to play some music, talk you into it. It's going to be a journey. It's going to be a shamanic journey. This is just to practice the breathing. So when I breathe in, I breathe in big, like into my belly, into my chest, everything. And in fact, more into the belly at first, especially if you're not used to that. And then later on, you'll feel it more in the heart. And all your lungs will expand. You'll make space. The body will make space. Your consciousness will make space. But I'm going to breathe as deep as I can without tensing, but just really big. And then I'll just kind of blow it out, let it out. Not really like forcing it out, but just definitely letting it out, like a full surrender kind of exhale. So it'll be like And you'll notice I'm breathing in through my nose and out through my mouth. And you may have tried other breathwork techniques that are all the mouth or all the nose. I'm asking a full spectrum in through the nose and out through the mouth. So go ahead and try that a couple times. Inhale, exhale. Everyone try it. Go ahead. And this next exhale, make a sound. Go, ah. No one can hear you, so just go ahead. Yep. Ah. Everyone try it. Ah. And you can stop now. I'm already feeling it. I've done this a lot. I'm already kind of woo going somewhere. It's not hyperventilating, and you're not working on getting dizzy. It's just really deep, full breaths, and it's gonna bring more oxygen into every cell in your body. It's gonna bring more oxygen pumping through your blood. You're gonna have more oxygen than you're used to if you haven't done something like this before. Maybe more than you've ever had in your whole life. So you can stop now, by the way. We'll breathe more in a minute. But that's the technique. It's a very simple technique. And the idea is just to breathe until you're surprised. We're only going to breathe for like 20 minutes. The usual journey is like an hour, hour and a half. And we do a lot of processing afterwards. We're only going to do a few minutes of that today. So it's a little mini journey. So don't worry. But get excited. You can go very deep, very fast with this technique. As you could tell, like some of you probably felt within those few breaths, like 5 or 10 breaths, that you start to feel different, altered. So we're gonna have space to kind of breathe into whatever's there and whatever comes up, and then we're gonna kind of drift off into back into we're gonna go wherever we need to go, and then we'll come back together and process a little bit. We'll share, and I can answer some questions if you have them and stuff like that. So that's the technique. What you can prepare. Or actually, I should kind of pause. Well, no, this is good. I think that's pretty straightforward. The question that anyone would ask usually is, should I just breathe the whole time? And the answer is yes. But if you're forcing it, or if you're going into an emotion, then just feel that. The breath is the magic carpet to the place that you're going. But if you're in the place, then just be there. If something comes up that you feel that. If you start seeing things, going somewhere like into another magical fairyland with unicorns, just ride the unicorn. Just go ahead and slay the dragon, whatever the journey entails. You don't have to go back to the breath just because. We're not doing that kind of breath work. The breath work takes you to where you need to go. If you start feeling something in your body, really go into that experience in your body. That's the point. So if you're wondering, oh my gosh, should I be breathing right now? The answer is yes, because you're thinking. And there's nothing wrong with thinking, but we're working towards just going, surrendering to the breath, and letting our mind kind of take a back seat. So think less, breathe more, and then go into wherever the breath takes you. So that's the answer to that question. So the only other things you'll really need to know is that you can lay down for this, and actually I highly recommend that. If you want to just sit, that's totally cool. Sit with your spine straight or sit in a meditation position. That's totally valid. Before you do that, you might grab anything you have, like an eye mask or a bandana, or you can put your Corona mask on your eye. I don't know. And if you have tissues, you might not feel like crying now, or maybe you haven't cried in years, and then maybe today you do. And that'd be wonderful to release that. So tissues, if you have them handy, or just a toilet paper roll, it's great. And if you have something for afterwards, like a journal. Maybe you have a journal or if you're taking notes or whatever for this weekend experience, that would be cool. So grab your pen and your journal. Don't put them too close to you, but have them close enough to grab afterwards. And in fact, if you're like, you want to do some art afterwards, or in any way, we often use mandala art therapy called the Shamanic Shakti art process. And we do, we have pastels and a piece of paper with a circle on it, and after a journey usually, and the person kind of just puts color on a paper, and it's really incredible to just see what your soul says when you're in an altered state, and then we can analyze that later and use it for our processing and see, it's like analyzing a dream. So if you have some kind of markers or pastels or paper next to you, that would be cool if you want to do that. But otherwise, just a journal or just nothing at all, we can process together. Something that doesn't say on here, we always use tarot cards, oracle cards. If you haven't picked one today, now would be a good time. If you have incense, if you want, whatever you do to kind of invoke space, because that's kind of what we're going to do. Sage, Palo Santo, whatever, candles. Before we start, if you have serious issues around your heart health, if you have seizure stuff going on, if you have, then really we want to be mindful about that, and I wouldn't suggest doing that on this online experience right now. So if we've gotten this far and you're excited and you have issues like that, you've probably been warned from your doctor, but I wouldn't proceed. I would just relax and listen to the music and just kind of breathe softly, which is totally fine, and you can go on a beautiful journey that way just by breathing smoothly. There's just things to watch out for, so I'm going to leave that up to you, just to be really mindful about your own health. I wouldn't worry too much, but if you have some serious things going on, then this can be quite abrasive on if you just had some stitches or something like that, or you have some, your heart is in a state of it's sensitive. Cool. All right, so from here I'm going to ask that everyone just kind of gets into their comfortable positions. And we're going to kind of start the journey now, if that's okay. I'd like everyone to just take a deep breath. Fully relax where you're at. And invoke your own space, however you might do that. So if you have guides, ancestors that help you on your shamanic journey or in your dreams, I invite you to call those in now. Connect to spirit, however you do. God, Goddess, the earth, the stars. I'm burning some sage here. Just kind of sending over that smoke towards you, the sacred smoke, into your field and to wherever you are around the world. It's nighttime here in Bali. It's morning time. Just woke up on the Pacific coast. I'm calling in the wisdom from the winds, the four directions and above and below. Honoring Venus rising, moving towards Mars in this beautiful dance of the sacred feminine and masculine. As above, so below, as within, so without, and as the stars dance, this planet's dance above us, it's also a dance within us and between us. So we call in that sacred relationship with ourselves, each other, and everything that is spirit. Once again, I invite you just to take a deep, juicy breath. If you weren't here when I was talking about the technique, it's just in through the nose and out through the mouth. I invite you to begin this journey now. Begin to breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. In through the nose and out through the mouth. In through the nose and out through the mouth. And just breathe until you're surprised. Just go into wherever your consciousness takes you. Release what no longer serves you. Anything that's in the way of you being your truest self, with your most open heart. The light, the dark, no difference. It's all a part of you, embracing all parts of ourselves so that we can be ourselves, our whole selves in relationship. Have a beautiful journey. I'm going to turn up the music more and more, and I invite you to just go further and further to wherever the breath takes you. I'll see you on the other side. It'll just be 15 minutes. I'll see you there. Taking deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. Making sounds as you exhale to release anything that's been built up, anything that was below that's come to the surface. Let it up and out with a movement, with a sound, with your intention. Anything in the way of your purest heart. Knowing who you really are and who you really want to be and how you really want to share love. Letting out anything you can that might be in the way of your purest open heart. Ten more times, big breaths, with movement or sound or both. These last few breaths, letting it all go. And slowly bringing yourself out of your journey, out of your experience, back into your body, back into your space, into this space here together, the Emergence Festival. Bring yourself back into your seat or into your laying down position. Slowly begin to open your eyes, gently, bringing all that you've learned with you that's valuable and leaving behind everything you've let go of, knowing that you've let it go. Begin to stretch and wiggle. Make sound if you'd like to. Bring yourself out of the journey. Even if you really want to stay there, leave that for another time. Now's the time to come home. Back to your body, back to this space, and back to your heart. You can open your eyes now and come back up to your computer screen. Come back to the group experience where we can all share. We've ran out of time, so just do a quick kind of lightning share. If somebody has a couple of words, maybe just like a sentence or two about how they feel right now. Maybe you raise your hand. I don't know how you guys are doing it. Raise your hand or just jump right in. It's fine with me. We don't have a lot of time, so.
Energy in all the spaces.
Great. Mm-hmm. Tingly, alive, feels so good, says someone in the chat, Kayla. You can keep writing in the chat, or you could say something now. Go ahead.
I had like so many like really deep like noises wanting to come out like from my belly, like
Yeah.
yeah, so good.
Belly is a place where we really have a lot of stored emotions. It's really the womb space and the hara, this power center, the sexual center. It's all there, and it gets so stirred up and locked and blocked, and it's such a beautiful place to work.
Was very difficult to come back actually.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you went deep. That's a great thing. It's takes practice to be able to bounce in and out of the worlds, but that's a good thing. You went deep, and maybe get a more longer session in another time. Welcome back. Yeah. Does anybody else have? Yeah.
Natal.
Natal, yeah.
I just because you touched on Wim Hof, I've been doing Wim Hof for months, and I've not felt this like tingling, how my mind was just like, I went straight to my third eye, and it takes like, he says it takes 30-40 breaths to do that, and I felt like 5 breaths in and I was there. And so
Yeah.
thank you for this practice.
Absolutely. Yeah. Wim Hof and me and whoever, we're just, drawing on teachings from a long time ago. He didn't create anything, neither did I. So we're really just drawing on ancient techniques and with people that have done it a lot. And so yeah, blessed to have these modalities gifted to us by these, at this time. It's time to do this kind of work, and this is just a rapid way to get in and do this work. So thanks for doing this work, everyone.
Thank you so much, Levi. Thank you for doing this. So amazing. Can we all take ourselves, rub our palms together, generating some electricity and love, and let's shower Levi with some love. Okay.
Levi.
Ashtahe.
Stay.